This Winchester Model 70 that you've seen here on the channel is going to get a new Boyd stock and a new optic. Check that out in this video. Hey guys, Gavin here from UltimateReloader.com. This is the Winchester Model 70 rifle that I did some work on here on the channel. I took this long-range varmint rifle and rebarreled it in 22-250. The old barrel was shot out. You're going to want to check out that story. I did the chambering, the machining, threaded the muzzle, put the rifle all together. Well, now I've decided it's time for some upgrades. So we're going to take a Pro Varmint stock from Boyds in zombie green laminate. This thing is really, really cool looking. I'm going to do a pillar bedding job on it. I'm going to open the barrel channel a little bit because this is a just huge barrel. Really, really thick barrel, practically a straight contour. And we're also going to look at the optics because this Weaver Grand Slam is not the kind of scope I like to use. I like the tactical features. So what we've got here is an Athlon Argos BTR Gen 2, 8-34 by 56. We've got some rings, and I'm also going to install a proper 20 MOA rail from EGW at the same time. Okay, so let's take a quick look at what we've got. We're going to save the optics unveiling for a little bit later. Let's take a look at this stock. Ooh, yeah. Trying to get a little bit more adventuresome with colors. You've seen that in some of my recent Boyd's stories. We had the orange that we did on my 224 Valkyrie. I really like this zombie green, and I picked this stock because we have a generous area here. I'm going to open that up a little bit for the monster barrel, as I mentioned just a moment ago. We have plenty of material up here kind of for that, but I think that's going to look really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rifle apart. I'm going to take a look at the barrel channel. We'll get that all going. And then towards the end of the video, we'll get this Argos BTR Gen 2 out. We'll get it all mounted and we'll do some shooting. So the stock adjustments are done. I did an 1.25" bit on the milling machine. I got that Precision Matthews PM949 TV. Opened up the barrel channel for this monster barrel. This is like literally the thickest barrel I have, I swear. I put it together and it's fitting really good. So I'm thinking to put this rifle together complete with the optic and go and shoot it and see if it does need bedding after all. Tightening and loosening the front action screw, holding the forend yielded very, very little movement, so I'm hopeful. Another thing I did here was I put on a 4-inch Salmon River Solutions ARCA rail, because all of my ARCA accessories, like this bipod, slide on really nice, and it gives me the most versatility, and I just love ARCA rails. And it used the existing screw holes from the swivel studs, so that was a super easy upgrade, and the black looks really nice, I think, with everything that we've got here. We've got the MDT ground pod. Notice the little green accent there. Got to be color coordinated. Okay, so the Weaver scope is in the past. Let's take a look at the Athlon Argos BTR Gen 2 8-34 by 56 scope. Have not even looked at this yet. And of course we've got instructions, customary cleaning cloth, Allen keys, yes, yes, yes. Good to all that. Ooh, fresh scope. Oh, it's got caps too. Nice. Look at that, huh? Very, very cool. Okay, so that is the scope. And we've got Athlon Precision rings. These are 30 millimeters, so we're just gonna work with the tube there. Hopefully the height is gonna work here. I really like these rings. These are really nice. Get that out of there. Very, very cool. Okay. Finally, I bought an Evolution Gunworks 20 MOA rail, and that's gonna kind of round off the install. We have this Weaver rail on there. Not too excited about that. This should be really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the scope install, and I'll be back to show you the results. Well, here she is. That was a smooth scope install. That's my favorite type of scope install. The EGW 20 MOA rail fit perfectly, And the rings look like they're at just the right height. I've got good objective clearance with the barrel, even with the cap. Caps are actually a nice touch on this. Again, I do like that. And I got my eye relief set up where I like it, just like that. Boom. Okay. I'm happy with that. And to top it all off, I put an Area 419 Hellfire muzzle brake on. Why not? That should make it a little bit more pleasant to shoot. And that's what I'm going to go do next. So I started at our 100-yard mid-mountain range to get the rifle zeroed in. Also, I'm trying a new load, 22-250 with stay ball match. And so I thought I would get some chronograph data in preparation for going out a little bit further. So I got the scope zeroed, and my visual bore sighting was within an inch of the center of the aiming dot I was aiming at. That was, I think, tied. I've done that one other time where I was within an inch of the intended point of impact. Really good stuff. And got used to the scope a little bit, really liking how it felt on the rifle. And once we got the chronograph data at 3,618 feet per second with a Hornady 60 grain VMAX bullet and an SD of 10 feet per second. So pretty promising load. 3-shot groups for the sight-in were somewhere in the half MOA range, so I was pretty happy with that. We went up to the Ultimate Reloader Ridgeline range, and what I decided to do was to set up some little water bottles. I bought a whole bunch of these little water bottles by mistake, and I thought, well, that's about a squirrel-sized target. That's going to be absolutely perfect, and we're trying not to shoot steel right now because of the fire danger. So we set some up at 150, and this is what happened. So interestingly, my 100-yard zero was dead on, but when I went to 150, instead of dialing the 0.1 mils, I decided to just hold dead center. Turned out I was shooting a little bit high. Maybe it was the difference in shooting position or who knows what. So I aimed for the bottom of the water bottles, and that seemed to do the trick real nice. Okay, then it was time to go out to 336 yards. This is one of those target areas where we shoot steel targets frequently. It's a nice range to kind of try things out. That's a pretty small water bottle at that range, especially considering we had winds of 5-ish, 5, maybe 7 miles per hour going over the ridge top. And it's a little bit kind of sporadic as you go down the line of trajectory and a little bit unpredictable. So that actually makes it really fun. So my dope told me to dial up 0.9, which I did. And I held the 0.9 mils of wind and was off the right-hand side. So I was holding too much wind with the reticle. I liked the way the reticle was laid out. It was really easy to see the half, 1, 1.5, and 2 mil subtensions. I backed off and was a little bit closer. Turned out my elevation was actually right on with 0.9 dialed for elevation. So on the third shot, I made contact, and man, that 22 caliber bullet made a mess out of the bottle. This was a lot of fun, and it's always a good time when you switch up your shooting, whether it being going from paper to steel, from steel to fruit. You know, with a 22 caliber high velocity rifle like this 22-250, it's definitely fun to see something blow up, for sure. So I think this rifle would be just a really great varminter. You know, we have a lot of rock chucks around here. We have a lot of squirrels. The squirrel population is getting completely out of control, and they cause a ton of trouble. Definitely a great coyote gun. And I hope to do all of that with this rifle at some point. And the Boyds, this Varmint Pro stock, really a great upgrade. I love the look of it. Green is my favorite color. And every time I come into the shop and I turn on the lights and I see this while we've been working with it, I just get excited because it looks so cool. And the barrel channel inletting was straightforward. That made room for this huge monster barrel, which is good for a 22-250. Helps dissipate the heat and that sort of thing. A little extra weight doesn't hurt. Finally, it was really nice to have the Hellfire muzzle brake on there. It just makes spotting those hits and misses just a little bit easier and things just a little bit more pleasant. So I'm really happy. I'm not going to bother betting the stock because with half MOA results, that's plenty good for what I'm doing with this rifle. What I'd like to know is, what do you think of this Varmint Pro stock? And are you running a Boyds? What kind of rifle are you running it in, and kind of what are you doing with it, whether it be target shooting or hunting or what? Drop a comment and we'll start a discussion. Make sure that you're subscribed with notifications because I've got a lot more Boyds content coming up as well. Thank you for watching. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. If you're interested in custom rifles like what we build here on the channel or gunsmithing services, you're going to want to go to rifles.ultimatereloader.com and get on the wait list. If you want to learn lucrative gunsmithing like what I show here on the channel, including building custom rifles and Cerakote plus a whole bunch more, you're going to want to check out the Colorado School of Trades, schooloftrades.edu. Thanks again for watching.